What is up, guys? How are we doing? I'm still buzzing from the Red Bull Straight Rhythm. It was so fun. This event was amazing. I want to thank all of you guys for subscribing, and I can't even tell you how many people I ran into who watched the videos. Thank you guys. Don't think I don't appreciate all you guys coming up, saying hi, yelling my name. It's pretty cool to know that people are watching these videos, and more importantly, the message is getting across. The message about, like, we're doing this to make the sport better. We're not just cannibalizing it. I love it. You guys are awesome. So thank you. Yeah, big thanks to all you guys. Thanks to my neighbor Sherry for watching my dog while I went out there. That was pretty cool. So anyway, guys, I want you all to welcome EBC to the channel. EBC Brakes. They are supporting us, even though, you know, a lot of the industry is kind of scared. They're scared. Honestly, they're scared of us, guys. So we're making some progress. We're forcing some change, believe it or not. I truly believe after going to the Red Bull Straight Rhythm this weekend and seeing how many people are paying attention and are on board with, you know, with the message is just like, make the sport better, make it not necessarily like a socialist type thing, but let's not starve your riders. Let's get their stories out. Let's get everybody healthy. That's what we want. We want this thing to grow because it was awesome this weekend. I went out there with my buddy Travis from Epic Garage Designs. Happy birthday, Travis. We went out on Friday night. Him and his new girlfriend Jen got obliviated. It was awesome. We had to find his phones the next day, but yeah. Travis, go check out Epic Garage Designs. They'll be doing flooring for some of the teams next year. I believe AEO is going to have flooring for their, their setup. And then we're going to have single bike flooring setups that you can travel with. I'll be doing a video on that in the next week or two, and you'll be able to buy those straight off their website. I want to thank the Steel City Men's Clinic for keeping me healthy. These guys are awesome. They're just really nice people. They will run your blood work, figure out what supplements you need. They have a secret cure for arm pump that you have to call them to find out about. It works. It's outside the box. And if you have arm pump issues, please call the Steel City Men's Clinic. All right, guys, I'm going to break down this event, the Red Bull Straight Rhythm. I want to look at what this means to Roczen's career. I want to break down what happened at the event. I also want to talk a little bit about Marvin Muskin going to O'Neill, which it took me a little while to notice it, and I'll break down why and what a marketing miss that was. So anyway, guys, let's get into this thing.
I'm in the empire business.
Everybody love everybody!
You all know exactly who I am.
All right, guys, the Straight Rhythm on the beach. This was a historic event. Red Bull, Jeremy Malott, you guys hit it out of the park. If you guys missed this event, I'm sorry. This was one of the most fun events I've ever attended. The crowd had an absolute blast. I mean, everything about this was awesome. They had flat track, running on short track beach race, going on behind the Straight Rhythm. There was no dead time. Vendor row was jam-packed. Guys, they sold out the beach. They sold out the beach. The fire marshal stopped them from selling passes. All the bleachers were full. Then they sold out all the general admission, 15,000 plus people. I don't think they expected that many people, but it was, I mean, how awesome is it that in between racing, and there were very few breaks, might I add, you turn around and you could hear waves crashing on the ocean and smell the salt air. That alone, you can't have a bad day. You just can't have a bad day with that in the background. The crowd it was one of the most fun crowds I've ever been a part of. Everybody was like being nice to each other, bouncing beach balls. The section I was in absolutely had me laughing. This is one of the funnest things that I've ever done in a crowd. I'm not gonna lie. Me and my friends Day and Billy and who I was sitting with, and Johnny Hopper. Hopper's the man. Anytime I get to spend time with Hopper is a good time. Our whole section, Mission sponsored some stuff, and they were throwing tortillas all over. Oh, sorry guys, I have some food in the oven and I just heard a beep, so I'm gonna take a quick break. All right guys, I'm back, and yeah, good thing my oven beeps really loud or my food would be burnt right now. So luckily I got that out of there. The crowd throwing tortillas. So Mission, I think they sponsor the flat track or somehow sponsored the event, but they were giving away these little tortillas, just the little ones about that big, and people were throwing them like frisbees. And it was, at first I'm like, what the hell are these guys doing? And I was kind of annoyed. And then I was like, wait a second, it's a tortilla. You're not going to hurt anyone. It's on the beach. The seagulls are going to eat them. You're not littering. You're just having fun. And the security guards were just losing their minds trying to find out who's throwing them, but everybody's throwing them. People are throwing them at the security guards, but it's harmless. You're not going to hurt anyone throwing a soft tortilla that's going to get eaten by a seagull, so you're not littering either. It was fun. It was so fun. There's beach balls bouncing. I would say the beach ball is probably worse than a tortilla, but it was just fun. Like, this crowd had a great time. The flat track was fun to watch. It's just, like I said, there's always something going on at this event. Parking was a little bit tough, but it's the beach, guys. What do you expect? I mean, parking on a regular day at the beach is hard. The fact that they pulled this off and all the way down Huntington, I mean, you had to walk a little bit, but where don't you have to walk a little bit? The announcers. I gotta say, Kevin Kelly is the funniest live announcer I've ever heard. He was cracking me up. Even his fluffer, David Iser, was actually okay. And I'm not a big fan of David Iser just because he's such a wuss and some of the things he's done behind the scenes to me. But he actually did a pretty good job with Kevin Kelly in the live announcing. The funniest thing that I heard was Barsha. He was going off, and at one point Kevin Kelly, he said, he's slapping everything out there, blah, blah, blah. And then he said, I think he even slapped a woman on his way back to the line. I mean, it was, I literally just, I was dying laughing. It makes me think of political correctness. We've gone so far over the line with political correctness that hearing Kevin Kelly say Barsha slapped a woman just was funny. And there's not one person in that crowd who thought for 1 second that Kevin Kelly meant he was actually hitting a woman. We all got that it was a joke. It's so refreshing to just drop this whole stupid political correctness and get back to just comedy. Sometimes things are just funny. Nobody endorses smacking women. Nobody thought Barsha hit a woman. But we all thought that line was hilarious. It was just it was good to get back to that. The whole crowd loved it. I mean, between them and then the flat track announcers who went before them, they couldn't have been any more politically incorrect. But I don't think there was one single person who was offended. And it was awesome, guys. It was so funny. I mean, hearing Kevin Kelly it's like, I almost feel like I should pay for a stand-up comedy ticket every single time he does this. And he's got this dry personality. And I actually got to run into him the day before and just tell him how awesome he is. It brings back what this is, guys. This is dirt bikes. These are dirt bikes. We're having fun out there. And that's what they did. They bring the fun. They capitalize the fun. Let's not get too serious. It's just a good time, and I absolutely loved it. All right, guys. That jump. I don't know if you saw the El Baño. That's what Kevin Kelly was calling it. That giant 85-footer. On the broadcast, they called it the 85-footer because they probably had to be a little bit more politically correct there. But live announcing, they called it El Baño because it was over the bathrooms. That thing was giant. It was terrifying. And don't think, I talked to a lot of the guys the day before. It was terrifying. But seeing Roczen scrub that thing was one of the most, my jaw hit the floor. It was just, if you didn't see it live, I mean, you could tell on TV, but live, like the whole crowd, the first time he did it, we all just went, like, oh my gosh, what is he doing? And even Carson Brown was hitting it the first day in his 125. Like, some of the guys were kind of scared on the 125s, and they were casing it, and I'm so glad no one got hurt. But it was so terrifying. I think the guys actually gave it a lot of respect, so that's why nobody got hurt on it. Carson Brown was sending it on that 125. This event's kind of made for that kid, and he is really coming into his own. And I was thinking about him, and I'm like, he just got 5th at World Supercross. He just won the straight rhythm. How many teams out there wish they hadn't had some of these rookies who were going to suck out there next year and they could sign Carson Brown. Stop signing these rookies to these giant deals. How about we just take a few of these journeymen like Carson Brown, Josh Reeves? They're a way better option as they've got a little experience. They're turning pro. And speaking of available rides, where does Ken Roczen go? After this performance on Yamaha, I mean, obviously it's a perfect fit. We all want, as fans, I think everybody agrees we want to see him on a Yamaha. We want to see Ken Roczen out there. What he brings to the table, both skill-wise, speed-wise, he wins, he's entertaining. I mean, he's the complete package. He's got the family now, he's got the kid out there, he's a dad, but he's an absolute assassin on that bike, the way he just whips it. And I mean, and I think had it not rained, he might have beat Marvin because he was faster than Marvin all day, but it got a little bit more technical and kind of took away some of Roczen's key skills where he was able to scrub a little bit harder. When the rain hit, it just changed a few things and he spun. But needless to say, we saw what we needed to. And the reason he probably won't end up on a Yamaha is because of the Monster Energy deal. Monster Energy has partnered themselves with Yamaha in a big way. They give them lots of money to go racing. And now, if you have Ken Roczen, even if you just set him aside on a Red Bull Yamaha, the problem is it breaks up the branding. The bikes that show up at in the showroom have Monster on them. They're Monster. People think Yamaha, they think Monster. Well, Ken literally shatters that if he goes to a Red Bull Yamaha, and now Monster loses what they just paid for. They just paid for that branding. They paid for that name association. And if they do anything with Ken, even if it's aside from the team on his own deal, it could affect it. So it's going to, for him to end up on a Yamaha, it's going to take some people at Monster to be incredibly, incredibly forgiving and cool, and it would just show what great partners they are to Yamaha if they do end up letting this happen. I hope they do, but that's some of the reasons why it might not happen. Speaking of branding, O'Neill just hired Marvin Muskin. Man, they screwed the pooch. Why would you do... Listen, I'm all for signing Marvin Muskin, and people ask, why would Marvin not have a Thor deal? Because the way this works is gear companies typically sign riders after they sign their factory contracts, typically. I mean, obviously there's always exchanges, but... So Marvin was late to sign his Supercross only deal. Thor had just spent a lot of money on AP and Webb last year. Gear sales are a little bit down, so they don't have a ton of extra budget. Marvin comes in last minute and says, hey, what do we got? I'm actually on KTM. They probably said, here's a significant pay cut. And then O'Neill says, okay, well, we got a little bit more. So we went to O'Neill. O'Neill, that's a good move, but it's hard to rebrand a guy like Marvin who's been Thor for years and years and years. Well, they did the worst possible thing. They literally dressed him. I didn't even notice he was in O'Neill for a little bit because it looked so much like his previous look. Where they should have succeeded is they should have dressed him differently. Put him in all black, put him in all white, put him in something that grabs attention so you look at his gear and go, what kind of gear is that? Like Aaron Plessinger with the jeans and the life vest look. And, you know, typically if this was a regular Supercross, I would say KTM probably forced Marvin to wear that uniform type look because they do that a lot and they want their guys to look sort of uniformed. But with what Webb wore and with what Plessinger wore, I don't think there was any team orders on what you had to wear at Straight Rhythm. So O'Neill, that was a big miss, and they definitely should have put him in something else, guys. But hey, if you don't go to Red Bull Straight Rhythm next year, I don't know what to tell you. It's on the beach. It's amazing. Thank you all. I appreciated running into everybody, saying hi. And hey, the Cookie Mob is strong. People in the industry can say what they want. A lot of people are paying attention. You guys are paying attention. Thank you for subscribing. Thank you for liking. I'm looking to do some more stuff with my buddy Johnny Hopper. Hopper was there. He was getting some good interviews. Check out his, go over on Johnny Hopper. He's got some good interviews that he was able to do. He talked his way into a press pass on Saturday morning. Me getting there late because of my friend Travis. I didn't necessarily get one, so I was in the stands. I just enjoyed the event. I did my media stuff the day before. I just wanted to go and enjoy the Straight Rhythm, and it was just cool. So anyway, guys, thanks again, and we'll catch you later.